Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel for this May money reset. In today's video, we're going to be looking back at what happened in April, close out that budget spreadsheet, and then we are going to be setting up May's budget spreadsheet together. I hope you guys are having a wonderful spring day. It has been raining for I think 12 hours now, which is so exciting. It's so good for not only the environment, but my hair. I love fluffy hair, frizzy hair. It's just like my natural state of being. If you are new here, hi, my name's Alice. I love to chat about money and show you a little bit about my life. If that sounds interesting to you, don't forget to subscribe. This is the place for you for all things personal finance and scarcity mindset, creating meaning with money and all of that. So let's get into what happened in April. Let's budget. I think she's looking for a little cave underneath the pillows. What if we do this? Do you like that? Or no? Okay, we are currently on April's budget spreadsheet. Again, I will have this budget spreadsheet linked in the description box below. It is super cheap, easy to use, and has a lot of capabilities. Let's start off with this big blaring number. So it looks like we did end up spending over the amount of money that we did have. We do have $1,000 in our bank account as a buffer, and that means that when we do have times where we spend over what we have, it can go from that, but we're actually gonna reconcile this later, so don't worry everybody. Our actual breakdown, we spent about 40% on expenses, 26% on bills, 27% on savings, which I feel like is really good, and then 6% on guilt-free spending. So you can see that a lot of our money is going to our bills and expenses. We're putting a lot into savings, and then we're not spending a ton on fun. Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot recently. When should I feel okay to spend more money on fun versus spending it on saving? So going on to income, this was a pretty typical month for us. We brought our normal amount home from our job. So that's income right here. This is like our W-2 paychecks that we received. We pulled $2,000 out of savings from our house and yard sinking fund because we are quickly doing our yard right now. My husband finished the flower beds in the front yard. And then this week we decided to fill our garden boxes. We didn't have any plans on filling them. And then one of our neighbors was like, hey, we have a ton of free dirt, like topsoil. And then for unexpected, this was super fun. So we did end up getting about $715 from some sort of like escrow account when we refinanced our house. They sent us that, which super helped out. You guys will see later in this video. Oh, and then the extra money of that was finally cashing in like birthday and Christmas money. Okay, let's go on to bills. So our mortgage came out at $2606, which is amazing to think that like our mortgage is $600 less than it used to be. Our internet is now $45, which is 20 bucks lower because we canceled and got it immediately and there was a deal. So that was amazing. Our gas bill was much higher than I thought it was gonna be, and I have no idea why. Yeah, I'm super confused about this, but that's okay, I guess. Our car insurance came out at normal. Our water and trash, I need to remember this. It is now $8 more than it used to be, which is like, it's whatever. Like, I feel like utilities go up slowly over time. Our life insurance is the same, Canva's the same, and then our power was a lot lower than we thought it was gonna be, which is super nice. And then our Apple subscriptions, I honestly just forget to track them, which is not good, but I feel like $10 is not a ton. Okay, and let's get to the expenses. So you can see a lot of red right here. It was a very expensive month for us. A lot of unexpected things happened. So let's dive into that. For groceries, we budgeted $500 and we got really close to that, which is wild because for a long time we were doing $400. I think it's a combination of I am doing more of the grocery shopping because my husband has to do a lot of the yard stuff right now. I prefer doing Walmart pickup order or getting our produce at a nicer store that less people shop at because it's more expensive. He would go to Winco and that place is so incredibly cheap. I know Winco isn't everywhere, but if you guys have one in your state and you need to save money, it is so cheap to go to Winco. So we've actually talked about like, should we go back to doing Winco again? For tithing and donations, we donated a lot more than we were planning on. We ended up going to like a fundraising dinner for the youth in this neighborhood. They are raising money to go to camps. So we went there, we got like golf lessons, macaroons, we paid for dinner, and there was like a variety show where you like put money towards your favorite act. So I think it's a great cause. For gas, we ended up spending a lot lower than I thought we were going to. Gas is definitely much higher than it used to be, but in reality, we only fill up my car once a month, which is awesome. But when we did fill it up, it was like $75 and it used to be $45. So that's not great. For pet care, this is a big one. So we spent $592 more than we thought we were. I originally budgeted $40, and that's like if they needed food or litter, but we ended up needing to take one of our cats to the urgent care. It was pretty scary, but it ended up being totally fine. We met with the vet, we got a blood test, and we got an x-ray. Everything came back perfect, which is something that you always want to see. So we're just like keeping an eye on one of our cats, kind of following her around, seeing if she gets into anything that she's not supposed to. That was not a good day for us. Okay, for miscellaneous unexpected, I actually don't put a lot of items under this category because I prefer it just to be more like an overflow. We spent more on tithing, so that'll actually come out of unexpected miscellaneous. But we had $322 left over, but really that is just going towards all the other things that are above. And again, you can tell this one was much higher than normal. It was about $1,000 higher than we were budgeting for. Okay, this one is really confusing to me because I feel like I saw it coming, but for car maintenance, I budgeted $50 knowing that we had to do like emissions and registration. But I only budgeted $50 knowing it was gonna be like $200 or something. And then also our check engine light came on. We finally got all of that fiasco taken care of. We have a 20-year-old Honda Accord and it's amazing, but it does need to be upkept. And we took it to some place that totally tried to rip us off. So we took it somewhere else and they were super awesome. They fixed it for way less than the other people had charged us for, but it was still about $800. We got like that $715 and we were gonna be like, oh, that's perfect, we'll just put it towards the car, but we're actually gonna put that $715 of unexpected money from our escrow account into the pet care to cover that. And then at the end of this budget, we're gonna pull money out of savings to reconcile this budget to make sure that we do not spend more than we have, because in reality we do have savings and we do have money that we can use for this kind of stuff. But as someone with a scarcity mindset, and a lot of you guys probably feel this way too, but I get so like sad or anxious about the fact that we're taking money out of savings when really that's what it's there for. If you're looking at this, we should probably take out like $792, but I'm actually just gonna reconcile the budget with however much we actually do need. Okay, for house and yard, we budgeted $2,000. We ended up spending $1,763, and that includes trees and bushes, which cost about $1,000. Then we bought mulch and we bought bales of hay to put in our garden boxes for like drainage purposes and everything. The soil where we live is absolute garbage. I mean, it's garbage in a lot of places in Utah. It's specialized soil that has like compost. Stuff really does add up, but we ended up spending less than we thought we were going to, which is great. And I think a lot of that was due to the fact that our neighbors, they had a lot of free dirt available. So far in our yard, and it's not completely done, we have spent a total of $23,000, I think, on it. If you buy a new build, that's just something to think about. Okay, for personal care, we ended up spending $39.41 out of $30. So again, in the red. And then for health, that is vitamins and then Dayquil. Okay, and on to the fun part, which is guilt-free spending. So for eating out, we ended up spending $97.14. We are definitely eating out a lot more than we used to. I just feel like it's one of the money dials that I absolutely love to turn up, and I love to eat out. And it's not necessarily like we're eating out at these super fancy places. It's literally like Panda Express, random like chain restaurants. Like I just love eating out. For clothing, yeah, this was a big one. So I spent $218.90 out of my $100 budget. I'm just really loving clothes recently. I recently switched from one store to another store. I am someone who can't I don't know, context switch, if that's what it is. I really only like to shop at one store until I get bored of that store and then I switch. But I ended up buying the Free People overalls that I've been wanting for probably years, and I finally found them on 25% off. So I was like, yes, I'm definitely gonna buy those. At the time I bought them, they were 25% off, and I was like, I'm gonna lose money if I don't buy them right now. You know, in order to make this work, we did cash in some birthday and Christmas money from this last year. For golf, my husband ended up spending $109 out of $100. It has been absolutely amazing weather. I love that he has that hobby. For splurge, we ended up spending $137 out of $100. Let's go see what that is. Okay, so it looks like it was a game, and then it was, I went to a bookstore and I bought my signature scent. I'm wearing it right now. It smells so good. Xbox controller, I got book of the month. And then boys' night. Okay, for the home, I spent $40 on a new pot for one of our plants. So we had a plant and it had like two main parts of the plant. One of them died. And then we were like, oh, that's interesting. Like, why is this plant struggling so much? Turns out we thought it was a different plant. It needs way different care. Its leaves need to be sprayed and washed. It needs to be watered a lot more often. It needs to be kept in a filtered bright light area. So we are changing what we're doing to that. And I wanted to buy a bigger pot for it. So I'm like really dedicated to keeping this plant alive. And if it dies, I will cry, which is not good because I've killed a lot of plants. Already for dates, we spent $57.47. For gifts, I budgeted $75 for some apparent reason and we did not spend it. I don't know what that was for. And then for celebrations, we budgeted $100 and I was super proud of myself. We spent $100.88. Very different, but we took one of my in-laws out for their birthday, which is so fun. As we get older and as we have more money, we think about what kind of things we want to do with it. And we just think it's such a cool idea to be the person that takes someone out for their birthday. It's great to do fun things with your money, but if times change, like it's okay to change, you know, how much you were giving or how big the presents you were giving, because I think it's most important to do what's best for you financially before you go around and be like, well, I have to stick to this tradition because I've already done this before in the past. Okay, and then the last part of April's budget is the saving and investing category. So for our emergency fund, we put $1,000 into that, and that is just our tried and true amount that we have to put in every single month this year in order to hit our $30,000 emergency fund goal. We just feel like $30,000 is, number one, it's a 6-month emergency fund, but number two, it's like if our car had a huge issue or if we needed to buy a new car and put, you know, a down payment on it, that would just be really great. Also, like if we had to hit our out-of-pocket max, that would be awesome. Our out-of-pocket max is not $30K, but if we get into some sort of emergency, we don't have to decimate it all, you know? Because I feel like when it rains, it pours, and I just want to make sure we have enough for every issue that comes up. For the Roth IRA, we put $1,400 towards that. Weekly contribution amount of $288 going to that. So by the end of the year, we should have our Roth IRAs maxed out. And then that's a little bit extra. We just want to push ourselves sometimes with investing. And if we have a little bit extra money, we're like, might as well put it towards a brokerage account. For the car, celebrations, vacations, house and yard, child, we ended up putting $200 towards all of those sinking funds. I was not really a believer of sinking funds because I was like, why does it matter if you have $400 in a car fund, or why does it matter if you have $400 in a celebration fund? Like, that's still not very much. When something happens where you do want to take someone out, or you do want to, like, I want to throw a birthday party for my husband, it costs $800, then only have to pay $400 out of pocket really, and I have that $400 saving fund. Super helpful for us. I used to be, against them because I was like, if it's not $30K, then it's not worth it, but it's like, no, these have been absolutely fantastic. Put money towards the girls fund, and then any extra fun money, we put $100 of the money that we cashed from my husband's birthday Christmas money into his sinking fund. I just want to show you guys though that our left to spend is negative, but also when I budgeted, apparently I budgeted not enough money. So we were kind of doomed from the start. That was definitely my doing, unfortunately. So next time I budget, I'm definitely going to make sure that we are not budgeting more money than we actually have. And if we are, we have to take that money out of savings. Alrighty, now we are on a blank budget spreadsheet for May. Start date and end date, we do from the 4th to the 3rd because our mortgage comes out and we pay the credit card. So we just want to make sure that all happens at the end of the budgeting cycle, but you can obviously do what you think is best for you. Okay, so let's start off with income. $9,365.64, which I feel like is such a good income for us. Generally speaking, that is the right income for our lifestyle. There's definitely some money things that we would turn up if we had more money, like more eating out, more clothes, you know, all that kind of stuff. For savings, I think we are going to, May is a big gardening month, so I think I'm going to take maybe $500 out for our garden, for plants, and for just anything we need as we put weed barrier and all that kind of stuff down in our garden box flower bed area. For HSA, we are going to be pulling $250 out for that because we have a lot of appointments this month. We'll get into that later. I think that is all that we're going to be making. So we're working with about $10,115. For our mortgage, that's $2,606, which I'm just still in awe of the fact that our mortgage is that low. If you're new here, our mortgage was $3,200 a month, but we refinanced financed, which is just like amazing. Having that extra $600, it's like a little $600 bonus every single month. Okay, for internet, we're gonna do $45 for our gas bill. It was so high last month and I don't know why, because gas is to heat your house, but it was like so temperate. But I think I should do $150 just in case. For car insurance, let me copy and paste some of these things over and then edit them. Okay, for car insurance, it should be the same. I guess it's changed a little bit. Okay, for our water and trash, that needs to be different too. Okay, for life insurance, Canva, power, we definitely did not have to cool our house at all in April. We honestly had the windows open most of the time. I'm gonna do $45 for that. And then for Apple subscriptions, they're always the same. So if you're seeing right here, my life insurance is higher than normal, and that is because it is term life insurance and disability insurance. Apparently, disability insurance is used more than life insurance. Again, I'm not a professional about this, but this is what I was told. And so disability insurance is super incredibly important to have, especially as a woman, because of like giving birth. Having 2, 3, 4 major surgeries in your life or major medical events is definitely, I feel like, a cause to get disability insurance. Again, it is not whole life insurance. I do not think that whole life insurance is for us. I don't know who it's for, honestly. That's why I talk to a professional and also talk to other people. Get a little sense, because some people really benefit off of you having whole life insurance when it's not right for you. Alrighty, moving on to expenses. Oh wait, I have to remember that I do have my budgeting reminders for May, which are super important because sometimes I forget things that we have to do. So let me look at that real quick. For groceries, I'm gonna budget $500 again. I really do want us to try though and go to one of the cheaper grocery stores at least just like once, because we can buy so much food for so cheap there. Okay, for this, we're gonna pay 10% of our income, just a little bit extra. Okay, yeah, if you're new here, we donate 10% to our church, and then if there's other donation opportunities, we like to look into those, especially toy drives, food drives. Alrighty, for gas, I think I'm gonna do $250. Wait, how much did I do last month? $300. Gas prices are sitting around $4 to like $4.25. For pet care, I'm gonna budget $40 in case they have food or litter that they need. I like $350 for miscellaneous unexpected in case we spend over on any of the other categories. It just gives a really nice buffer of like, say we do have another $600 charge this month, like $300 of that can come from our miscellaneous overflow. The more I budget, yes, the more I can kind of foresee things happening, but also some months they hit you financially and you need to have those buffers. Okay, for car maintenance, we should have absolutely nothing. We do not need oil changes. We don't need registrations. We don't have any check engine lights. If we spend $0 on car maintenance, I will be very happy. Okay, for house and yard, I'm gonna put the $500 there. I am very excited to grow like cucumbers, tomatoes, zucchini, potatoes. Oh, we're a big onion family, which is like super random. When we go to the store, we're like buying all the onions, green onions, purple onions, white onions. Yeah, I have no idea how much everything costs. I am a first-time gardener. Okay, moving on to personal care. I feel like $30 is a good amount for us. And then for health, I'm gonna put the $250 there. So this money actually never like comes out of our bank account. So every time we use the HSA card, I like to treat it as money coming in from savings and then money going out of the health account, because at the end of the year, again, I want a very accurate representation of how much we're spending on our health. And this month, everything just like the stars aligned, where we have all of our like yearly appointments. Oh, also, guess what I just learned? That you can use your HSA to pay for tampons and pads. I had no idea. Okay, so now that we have done our bills and expenses, which are things that we absolutely have to pay for, now I have the guilt-free spending and the saving/investing categories left. And I find that sometimes if I do one and then the other, I'm like, oh, we're gonna spend all of our money on fun, no saving. And then sometimes I do the saving and investing first. I'm like, oh wow, I'm gonna burn out because I have no fun money to spend. So I kind of go through, do the non-negotiables, and then we can go through, fill in with things that we want. But first, very important, let's check how much money we actually have left to budget. Okay, so we have $3,900 left to budget, which is pretty good. Okay, for eating out, we always spend $100. For golf, in the nice months, it's like non-negotiable for me to always have $100 there for my husband to play golf. For dates, that's $100. And then for celebrations, I remember Mother's Day is coming up, gifts, $100. For saving and investing, our non-negotiable is $1,000 with the emergency fund. And I just want to remind myself that saving $1,000 a month for the emergency fund is a huge accomplishment, because we definitely get used to what we're doing and then we feel like discontent with it again. Okay, for the Roth IRA, our contributions are going to come out 5 times. So let's do that. $1,440, which is just really solid. Okay, everything else is, oh wait, no, $25. So obviously I would love to save more than this, but when it comes to non-negotiables, these are genuinely like the automated things that are going to come out or the things that we have to do to hit our goals. Everything else is extra. We have $1,000 left to spend. So I actually want to obviously give myself $100 for clothes. And then I want to up our eating out budget because I just feel like we're going to be doing that anyways. I haven't really been that big into buying stuff for the home because I've just been so obsessed with gardening recently. Nothing for celebrations. Okay, let's see if we add $200 to everything that I want to. How much is that? Then we'd have negative $184. So that's not gonna happen. What if we did $100 for everything? $315 left. Okay, let's spread that out with the guilt-free spending. I think for clothing, what if we did 150? For golf, what if we did 150? Splurge 150. Oh my gosh, this is lifestyle creep in action, you guys. Ooh. What if we did 125? Wow, this is kind of getting annoying. Okay, 40 bucks left. What if we did 140 for dates? That looks pretty good to me. I feel good about that. All right, just a quick money chat about how I've been feeling about money recently. I think with the 2 unexpected expenses happening last month, I kind of got in my head a little bit where I was like, oh, we had to take my cat to the urgent care, which I will pay over every single time. If you have animals, that's just part of it. And I'm really happy to do that for them. But then also like the car, I wasn't really expecting that, / I didn't budget accurately for it. And so sometimes I get all in my head about taking money out of savings. And then when I do take money out of savings, I feel like I have to absolutely cut down on everything else and like be in a state of stress, because when I take money out of savings, I feel like I have less control over my finances. But I'm still trying to get to the point where I'm remembering that it is a good thing to have savings to be able to draw from instead of having those expenses come up and not being able to pay for them. I think it's part of having the scarcity mindset. It's part of being human. Finances are so charged. So this month I am just working on being like, this is what the savings are for. This is what they're used for. It's okay if a sinking fund goes close to zero because sinking funds are meant to be spent. Definitely trying to overcome that. I'm always working on things when it comes to money, and I hope that you guys are able to take these videos as inspiration or motivation for if you're struggling with the same thing. And I hope you guys have a great May, and I'll see you later. Bye.